As we discussed last week, Minecraft can be an incredibly satisfying game filled with loads and loads of satisfying moments, but unfortunately, it's not all plain sailing, and there are plenty of unsatisfying moments that can also happen. Let's take a look at 30 of them. So let's start things off with an obvious one. I don't think this one needs any introduction, and I'm sure you can all tell what's going to happen here, but you found yourself some diamonds, you're really excited to get them, and then that happens. I was not expecting that to fly towards my face. You're working on a big project in survival mode, you've come packed up with all the resources that you need, and then you think to yourself, oh, you know what? Actually, we need a sticky piston here with a block on its face. That would be the perfect one. You go to grab it out of your inventory and you realise that it's the one thing that you haven't thought to bring. Staying on the redstone theme, you should never have a bucket of water in your inventory when you're doing redstone contraptions, because you think to yourself, oh, I'm going to place a dropper here, and then yeah, but something like that happens. And then you have to try and work out what went where, what's been broken, what hasn't been broken. This has happened to me far too many times, especially because I have a base underneath the ocean. There's always leaks, destroying everything. Realising that you haven't backed up a world before testing something with TNT. Realising that the redstone contraption that you've spent the last few hours working on may not actually be possible, or at least it certainly isn't possible in the way that you're doing it. Yeah, there's quite a few of those dotted around inside my redstone testing world. I'm sure some of you have found them. Watching a video by Green after you've just spent ages on a house that you thought looked really good. I mean, you were really, really proud of it. And now you're not feeling so hot about it. I mean, how does he make things look so good? Finally managing to find that zombie villager and trying your best to trap him without thinking about the fact that it's daylight. And that he's caught fire. Also, I mean, not managing to trap him at all. This is gone terribly. You're meant to be standing in the pressure plate, mate. I mean, I don't even think I need to say anything on this one. This is like the definition of unsatisfying. I can't think of a more saddening thing than when you fall in lava and you just watch all of your items explode out of you and then immediately fall in lava as well. Oh, I don't know, actually, there is probably something slightly more unsatisfying about being killed by something that is very embarrassing to be killed by. For example, a slime. I would say slime is definitely on that list. If you get killed by an endermite, then that's pretty embarrassing. Silverfish, although they can gang up on you. I don't know, what's the most embarrassing thing to be killed by in Minecraft? You'll have to let me know down in the comment section. Making quite a big jump in the end without checking the durability of your elytra. Yeah, that doesn't feel good. Just watching yourself plummet through into the void. I mean, there's no hope there. You've 100% lost all of your items. Speaking of the elytra, trying to be way too ambitious with your flying. Now, there is a hole down here, and I reckon I can make it through it. Oh, that was so close. I almost made it. Starting work on a big project and forgetting to light up the area. Now, the reason that I'm on the Hermitcraft server now is because that is basically all of my Hermitcraft episodes. Every single time I start a project, I forget to light it up, it then fills to the brim with mobs, and then I have to try my best to deal with it. And as you guys know, I'm not particularly very good at fighting mobs. I don't know why I don't learn. I mean, you would have thought now, I've done hundreds of episodes of Hermitcraft. Surely I should have learnt by now that I should bring torches with me to light up big areas. I mean, surely. For example, this place was absolute mayhem when I built it. Absolute mayhem. I almost died so many times. Accidentally punching a pigman when you're supposed to be mining a block. That noise fills me with dread. And holy mackerel, these guys pack a punch, especially when you're not wearing armor. I'm doing some serious dodging though. This is quite good fun. This reminds me of Call of Duty Zombies when you would get a train of them behind you. This is going pretty well. Forgetting to turn off fire tick when building a redstone contraption that is based around lava. To be honest, that wasn't really that dramatic, but things did break. They just broke so fast that I couldn't even hit record in time. I mean, let's be totally honest here. Is there anything much more unsatisfying than this? It just makes you feel miserable, doesn't it? Minecraft is such a bright and vibrant game. Everything always looks happy and lovely. And then this happens, and it just looks grim. And also, to top it all off, things like this can spawn. They can spawn in the day if it's raining, and they don't despawn. With that being said, the one good thing about rain is that you don't get these guys. I remember when these things were introduced. I don't think I've ever been more terrified, and wow, they are totally ridiculous, aren't they? They are totally ridiculous. I can't believe how powerful those things are. Okay, moving away from the scary stuff now, I'm gonna bring up something that I find just mildly unsatisfying. Trying to place a piston in a certain direction and not being able to do it. This is not an example of that. I was totally expecting them to go upwards like that, but apparently we have just enough angle to be able to do it. Well, that's actually quite satisfying in a way. Another mildly unsatisfying one is when you're building a platform or some form of scaffolding, and then you slip off of shift just for the smallest length of time, but it's enough for you to fall off the edge. It's not groundbreaking, you don't die from it, it just means you have to make your way back over and build a pillar up, and it's just... oh, it's unsatisfying. When you're building a structure with logs and you have maybe a bar going across like this, and then you think to yourself, okay, on either end, I kind of want to have upright logs. Now, to do that, especially if you're playing in survival mode, obviously you can't do it like this. You could do it like this by placing a block up like that, then dropping down to the bottom and placing one there. Or alternatively, you have to somehow get underneath, place a block here, place a block down here, and then place a block up like that. It's so difficult to place upright logs in situations like this. Traveling many thousands of blocks away from home, and then checking your elytra for the first time in a while. Yeah, I don't think that's going to last me the journey back, which means that I have got a lot of walking to do. This is going to take hours. Fishing. Just the general act of fishing in Minecraft is mainly unsatisfying. I mean, you stand here, you wait for ages, the only entertainment you have is the squid flapping around in the distance. You continue waiting. I mean, you wait for a little while longer. Occasionally you see some bubbles popping up, but for the most part they're not that exciting. You keep waiting. I mean, I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting to have to wait for this long, but then you catch a fish. And that is all. I mean, look, it doesn't even... there's one little meat bar. If I cook it, it does 3. It's not even a good type of food. And before you say it, yes, I am aware that you can get enchanting books and everything like that from fishing. I've done it myself in AFK fish farms, but there are so many better ways to get them than fishing. For example, AFK fish farms, and also just going out exploring. It's much more entertaining. Spending hours upon hours on something and then finding out that the end result really doesn't look that impressive. No one can actually tell that you've devoted the time to it. For example, this took me 92 hours. I spent 4 days straight, pretty much 4 days straight, building this thing, and it's... well, it looks like I've built it in 20 seconds, doesn't it? It doesn't look impressive in the slightest. Getting all excited because you've finally got a white coat villager coming through your villager trading system, only to find that they have a book like this. I mean, who needs a Curse of Binding book? Why would I want to put Curse of Binding on my own things? It's just totally pointless. In fact, on the topic of enchanting, when you're just ready to do an enchanting session, you put your sword into the enchanting table, and then you see this. Knockback 2. I mean... knockback 2, sharpness 3, that is an unsatisfying sword. And knockback is probably the worst enchantment I can think of for a sword, because if you're fighting something like a skeleton or a witch or a blaze, you essentially push them away so that you can't hit them anymore, but they can continue hitting you. You're making life harder for yourself. And continuing on with enchanting, when you see the too expensive symbol, which I have a feeling may not be able to happen in creative mode, because look at this sword that I've just created. There's no way that's even possible. I think that could be every single thing. Do we have anything else? Thorns, right, let's see if we can get thorns on here as well. If we can, then I will be absolutely amazed. 75! That's crazy, so you can't get the too expensive thing when you're playing creative mode. This is... I want to kill something with it. So here we have a creeper. Well, I totally expected him to die first time. So he hasn't died in one hit. He survived? He survived this sword. Well, that in itself is very unsatisfying. Having your diamond pickaxe break. It doesn't matter how long I've been playing this game and how many diamonds I have and how many spare pickaxes I have. That is always deeply saddening. Having to mine out a space that is just outside the range of your beacon. You've been doing all of your clearing, you had haste 2, everything was going great, but then the last little bit, it's just out of range, and you have to go back to this way of mining, which feels incredibly sluggish once you've experienced haste 2. Accidentally mining a diamond without using a Fortune 3 pickaxe. Now, I actually did this recently on the Hermitcraft server, and even though I've got tons of diamonds on the Hermitcraft server, that still hurts, just knowing how much more you could have gotten. Running out of coal in your furnaces. Now, coal is one of those things that I always assume I have tons upon tons of, and I never bother mining it when I'm out on mining sessions, but then my furnaces run out, and I think to myself, why on earth have I not been mining coal? I need so much of it, I've got none now. Ugh. And finally, for the last point of this video, one that I personally have experienced quite often, the good old-fashioned creeper explosion. When you've finished working on your build, you're really happy with it, and then something like this happens. Not only do you die, and you have to go back and try and find your items before they despawn, but more importantly, the build that you've worked so hard on, this is especially bad if it's redstone, the build that you've worked so hard on has now been pretty much completely dismantled by something that you really didn't see coming. And on that note, I think it's time to wrap up this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please roll to that like button, and if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later. Oh, and check out the latest film on the filming channel. Link will be on the end screen. Released the other day. I'm sure you'll enjoy it.